Good morning, everyone. It's Latisha live with your morning drive. How are you guys doing today? Yesterday was so amazing. Yesterday morning, we did it, guys. We made it. I'm excited about that. So today we're going to continue to talk about mindset matters. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today is empowerment and what it means to truly be empowered and what is empowerment, what is all these things, because as we know, in this hour, in this time, everybody wants to empower you. They want to be your financial coach, your spiritual coach, your life coach, your transformation coach, and everything's about empowerment. And for those of you who go to church, you have pastors and different people who say that they want to empower you, and you'll go to an empowerment conference or you'll go to an empowerment workshop, but have you really left empowered? Because you have to understand what it means to truly and authentically be empowered. And most of the time, you have been encouraged deeply. You have been encouraged. And so you confuse that with empowerment. Anyone can encourage you, but not everyone is equipped to empower you properly. Okay, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into those details because, again, we're doing our morning drive. So that way you have something to look forward to, something that motivates you, something that keeps you, going from day to day to day. So we're going to start with the definition of empower. Okay, the definition of empower is to become stronger and more confident, especially in controlling your life and claiming your rights. So, therefore, just because you're down and out because you need food and someone brings you food, that's not empowerment, honey. That's simply encouragement. You're going to make it today, but I don't know how. When the food run out, what have I really given you? That's one of the best examples that I can utilize. So empowerment, again, is to become stronger and more confident, especially in the areas of controlling your life and claiming your rights. So, a lot of times you'll confuse empowerment with encouragement, but you have not gained control over your life or your rights. You have not gained control over anything because you don't understand that I can encourage you in such a way, but if I leave you without the proper tools, the proper resources, and a strategic plan of action, you have simply been encouraged. So, a lot of times, I like this Bible verse that a lot of people like to use when David had to encourage himself. Well, how can I encourage myself if I have not been empowered? You have the ability to encourage yourself when you have the proper tools, resources, and a strategic plan of action. Then you can encourage yourself. But if I don't know how I'm going to get from day to day, if I don't know if I even have the adequate tools that need to be provided for me to, again, because empower is to what? Gain control over your life and claim your rights. So a lot of times you're trying to figure out, well, I went to this conference or I went to this workshop and I'm empowered. No, sweetie, you were encouraged, because what you have to understand is, if what you're giving me, if the information you're giving me is not the proper tools and or resources so I can gain control over my life and claim my rights, all you've done is encourage me for a season, encourage me for a time, encourage me for that moment. And it's not going to do me any good, because when you're gone, when the hype is gone, when the woosha is gone, then what is it that I have left? What is it that's being provided for me? So now, how do you empower yourself? How do you become empowered? So a lot of times you'll just take tools. But if I need a screwdriver, okay, that's encouragement, because I need a tool, but I need a proper tool. So if I need a screwdriver and you give me a wrench, that's not going to do me any good, because that's not the proper tool that I need to claim control over my life and my rights. So now you have to establish within yourself, how do I truly become empowered? Everything hooping and hollering is not for you. Every tool is not for you. And there are some tools you'll get in season that you have to keep with you, that you're going to utilize later. So sometimes you become empowered for a situation before you're even in that situation. But you have to learn how to establish those things in the proper timing. So I hear people, they're like, oh, I went to church and I was empowered, or I went to this workshop and I was empowered. But you can't tell me none of the tools you received. You can't tell me any plan that you received. And a lot of times, sometimes I get frustrated because, I grew up in the church. So both my grandfathers are pastors. So I know, and you'll leave church on a high, but you have no proper tools. They've given scripture, or they've given you some type of lullaby that they've hooped up and hyped and blah, blah, blah. But where are your tools? Where is the control over your life and for you to claim your rights? Because for me as a life coach, if you have to keep coming to me and there's no true stability of you and your foundation, you have not been empowered. You just gave me control over you. If I got to come to you for everything, I don't have control over my life, and I have not claimed my rights because I have not been empowered. So to be empowered are simple things. It's like I'm thinking of an example of my dad wanted to teach me how to change a tire properly because he was a mechanic. Now, do I really want to change a tire? No, but if I have to, I have been equipped with the proper tools. So I don't have to wait or pay somebody else to come change my tire if I'm equipped to do it properly. So yeah, at 5 or 6, do I need to know how to change a tire? Not in that moment, but I've been equipped for it. So when the time comes, I am properly trained, and I don't have to wait for somebody else to come and do it for me, or I don't have to be railroaded and paying all this money when it's not necessary in that moment. So now you say you want to be empowered, and you say you want to have control over your life, but you're not even sure like how you're going to do that thing. You're not even sure how to even, how can I say it? You're just not even sure how you're going to move forward because you still don't know what it means to be empowered. See, again, I tell you that mindset matters. Mindset is everything. And we worked yesterday about the 4 steps: acknowledge, accept, embrace, and evolve. You cannot be empowered if you don't understand those 4 tools: acknowledge, accept, embrace, and evolve. I can't help you. I can't empower you if you're not willing to acknowledge that it's you, if you're not willing to accept that it's you, if you're not willing to embrace that it's you, and if you're not willing to evolve from it so you can move forward. There's no way that you can properly be empowered, because it's all about mindset. What tools have you gained recently? What tools have you gotten? Even financial tools. I tell a lot of people all the time, if you, again, we're going to go back to the example that we used yesterday. If you receive $1 million and you have a poverty mindset, you will be broke in the blink of an eye because you have not gained the proper tools, meaning financial wisdom, financial knowledge, financial understanding. Because what good is all that money if you don't know how for it to continuously come in, if you don't know how to sustain it, if you don't know how to keep it, if you don't necessarily know how to invest it, if you're not sure what you're going to do with it, but you know how to spend it? What you're doing is, in that moment you've been encouraged because maybe that's what you need, maybe that's the thing that you needed. But if I give it to you and I don't give you the tools that you need to gain control over your life and claim your rights, you are simply encouraged, and ain't nothing really gonna change but maybe your location. Because if you don't change your mindset, empowerment doesn't work like that. Empowerment doesn't work that way. You have to understand what it means. How do I gain control over my life? Because now you got to stop depending on someone else to tell you if this is okay. Can I do this? Should I do this? There's nothing wrong with seeking counsel, but there's an issue when you don't even know nothing about yourself. Well, how does this look on me? Well, should I go there? What are you feeling? Like, you have to be able to take control over your life and stop releasing your authority to other people. Stop releasing those things that are authentically you to someone else, and that's how you lose your authority. There are so many of us right now thinking that we have control over our life, and we really do not. We simply have strong permission. We simply have somebody got us telling us, okay, Example, right? You're the manager of a company, but you don't own that company, right? So as the manager of that company, you have certain things that you can and cannot do, right? So you have liberties in that field, but the minute that you do something that the owner no longer wants you to do, or if they've changed the rules and maybe you didn't know it, now your authority has been relinquished from you, or you've been put on suspension, or you've had some type of write-up, because in actuality you never had control, you just had a strong liberty. I tell people this all the time. My best example is, do not tell me that you are a first-time homeowner and you are still paying a mortgage. You have no ownership. You simply have strong liberties, because the minute you don't make the payment, the bank or whoever is the top person over there, they come to get the house. If you go on a car lot, this is my car. No, ma'am. No, sir. If you're still making a car payment, that car belongs to whatever bank financed it or whatever ally or whoever. That's not ownership. Those are strong liberties. So therefore, you're not controlling. Now, mind you, you need this tool. So I don't want you to think that when you get the tools that's it. No, let's say you need a car because you got to get to and from work. That's the tool. So there's nothing wrong with receiving the tools, so that way it can give you the ability to have more freedoms, because some tools are going to get you certain freedoms, meaning the car is the tool. So let's say I got to make payments. There's nothing wrong with that. That tool is going to give me the control over when I'm ready to leave, where I can and cannot go. You get what I'm saying? So empowerment comes in levels. Controlling your life can come in levels, but you can't get so caught up in always allowing someone else to tell you your do's and your don'ts, allowing someone else to control your going out and your coming in. Because sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time, when you've relinquished your control so much, you no longer know who you are. And there's this thing that's in the Gospel of Thomas. I promise that's one of my favorite books. So it's not it's just one of, oh my God, it's just really a cool book. I like the Gospel of Thomas. Where it says that it literally says, when you know who you are, it actually says, when you know who you are as the children of the Father, then you will be known. Until then, you are in poverty and you are the poverty. And that is so deep, because poverty literally means that you're so poor and just whatever, in education, in finances, in health. You're just at the bottom because you don't know who you are. So when people, because you have yet to be empowered of your true authentic self. You have yet to be empowered of your true authority. So today on this morning drive, what I want you to understand is, now I need you to articulate to yourself, who have I released the authority to control my going out and my coming in? What situation have I warranted myself to that I no longer control me? A lot of times you'll go out and you'll get things to help you get on that path, right? So you'll fix your credit. You'll go out and you'll do what you need to do. You'll become a first home time buyer, which actually, when you fix your credit, even though I'm a cash person, like, just pay it off. But when you fix your credit, right, that's giving you control, right, to actually gain more things, or get, how did I say, or get yeses in certain situations. But what tends to happen a lot of times is that you've established your credit and on your finances and everything, and your credit is saying, well, you can get this. So you go and you don't get like the minimal, or is even a safe place in between. You're going to get the max. So now you're about to allow the very thing that you consider to be a blessing to control you. Because again, the blessings of the Lord addeth no sorrow. So the minute that this thing becomes sorrowful, it's not because he didn't give it to me. It's because I exceeded, because I begin to put on certain things as a burden. You wanted a new home. You already had a nice vehicle, but you wanted a new home. You got your credit together. Then now you like, oh, I got the house. Well, let me go get a better car. Why? Now that's a payment you hadn't even allocated in your new freedom. Because again, mindset matters. You say you need a car, your credit say you can go get a good car, but the car depreciates by like $10,000 by the time you drive it off the lot. So again, you learn to prioritize. It does not mean you shouldn't get it. If that's you and you can actually handle it, get it. But if what you believe the Father has blessed you with all of a sudden now becomes a sorrow, becomes a burden, becomes something you no longer want to deal with, you have to ask yourself, what extra additives have I had added that I no longer have control over this thing, that I no longer have the freedom that I knew it would bring me? I'm going to give you guys a prime example. My father, my biological father, he passed away. And he left me property. He left me land that all I have to do is every year pay the property taxes. That's it, y'all. That was all. So you know that's freedom, because I'm an adamant believer in possessing the land. So the only thing I pay is these little property taxes every year, right? So I had someone staying there. And what started to happen was I had to keep going more often than not because they were not doing what they were supposed to do. So now the very thing that was like the very thing that was supposed to be the freedom, me gaining control of my life, deciding what we wanted to do with the property, began to be like I began to get aggravated with it, not because of the actual foundation of what I received, but because of the person that I allowed to stay. Right. So then I had to ask myself was like, hey girl, what changed in this scenario? You don't have to pay a mortgage on this home. It's completely and totally paid off, with the exception that you have to pay these property taxes every year, which do not exceed $600. I make maybe $500 a year. So why is it now that this very thing that was the blessing and you obtaining control over your life, you're owning and possessing something outright? What has changed? What did I add to it that I didn't have to add to it? And when I evaluated the situation, I realized that I had lost control because I wanted to add something extra that was not necessary in that moment. So sometimes your freedoms, because again, if you no longer have control over your life and your rights, or claiming your rights, then how have you been empowered? So sometimes you have to look at the picture as a whole. If you are to believe that God the Father blessed you with something, and when you got it, you were excited about it because it's going to give you control over your life. You having your own place, that gives you different liberties. You having your own vehicle allows you the ability to come and go as you please. But then you decided, well, you know what? I want to do this, or I want to do that, or I want to change this, or I want to change that. And now you're adding certain things because you don't have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding that I need to make sure that whatever and all that I get an understanding. So now we're back to empower, because sometimes you're not even confident. You're not even stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, and even financially. So if you're going to go to a life coach, if you're going to go to someone else, if you're going to go to a preacher, if you're going to go to a guru, whatever it is that you're going to go to, ask yourself before you get there, and while you're sitting there, in doing this consultation and doing this, am I going to become more stronger? Am I going to become stronger and more confident? And am I going to gain control over my life and claiming my rights? Am I going to be able to regain my authority back? Am I going to actually have freedoms, not simply liberties? And when you understand, true freedom only take place here in your mind, because you really in actuality can't do what you want to do. I'm gonna just tell you that right now, because it's gonna be repercussions and things, right? But if you have a free mind, you learn how not to allow others to control your movement, your thoughts, your thinking. I don't mind getting information, but I will weigh it out for myself to make the best decision for me. So sometimes we got to really get into that thing and say, man, am I empowered? So the rest of this week, I need you to ask yourself, if this, what I am doing, is this really going to empower me? You want to start a business? Starting a business, y'all, is not easy. But ultimately, it gives you the freedoms and the liberties that you desire. I don't have to clock in with anybody. I work my own schedule. I can get up and go as I please too. My family, we homeschool our children. We were doing this way before the pandemic. I've been homeschooling my kids now like 6 years because that gives us the liberties and the freedoms to say, hey, we're going to take a vacation. And I don't want to have to write a note why you're not coming to class, because in that vacation, we're still having educational time. We're still learning. In cooking, we're still learning. At the park, we're still learning. In the amusement park, we're still learning. At the beach, we're still learning. And so we were able to take control over that part of our lives. When my husband decided, hey, we're going to do this full time, we were able to take control over our lives and claim our rights as parents, how we were going to educate our children, but yet stay. Now, you can't say you're going to homeschool your kids. This is a sidebar. And you're not homeschooling your kids, okay? Because even in that, you still have to have some type of structure. So what does empowerment look like to you? Like, that's my question for you today. What does empowerment look like to you? Like, what does that feel like? What does that sound like? What does that taste like? You know, what is that? What does you gaining authority over your life, becoming stronger and more confident, and claiming your rights back? What does empower look like to you? Because if empower is just simply saying you know somebody, or somebody gave you a consultation and they gave you an idea and they gave you some tools, but it's not the proper tools for now or later, then what did you really gain? If everything I do, I got to keep coming back to you, then what did you, then how did you gain your actual authority? How, because you don't have it. You do not have it. If you don't have the proper tools, what I tell y'all, knowledge is power, but you have to apply the knowledge. Other than that, it's just sitting there. So it's like you have to kind of determine, what does the free you look like? When you look in the mirror, when you look at yourself, when you speak to yourself, what do you see? What does empowerment authentically look like to you? Ask yourself, am I truly empowered? Do I have the proper tools? Do I have the proper resources to move forward like only I can? Am I surrounding myself with people that can empower me, or simply encourage me when I need the encouragement because I've already been empowered? Some of you already have the tools and the resources that you need, but as you keep going, sometimes you just need a little, you can do this. You got this. You just need somebody to help you maybe reorchestrate the tools so you can see them in a different way. So I literally, I put the link in the comments. Register for the course. It's only not $39. There's a 7-week Mindset Matters course. The videos are not even long as my morning drive videos. They're at max 10. I think the couple of them like 5 minutes. And you actually get to journal where you're at, what you feel. Have you given your authority to someone else? Are you truly empowered? Do you know who you are? Like, these are questions you have to ask yourself. If you're running a business, what do I want my business to look like in 5 years, in 10 years? What is it that you authentically feel you need, or that you have, that you're not utilizing to its potential? Because some of you really do have the proper tools and resources that you need. You just don't know how to put it together in a plan. That's what I do. I help you structure that thing. Not so you can always come to me and be dependent upon me. No, never that. So that way you can what? Become stronger and more confident, gaining control over your life and claiming your rights. That's authentically what a life coach is supposed to want you to do. A transformation coach, a financial coach, a spiritual coach, whatever kind of coach you say you got, if they're not helping you get those things and you're still coming to them and nothing has evolved in your life, what you've done is literally given not only control over your life, but your money and your finances. So guys, it is 6:26. And I told you guys like 30 minutes. So that's my plan, is to give you guys 30 minutes every morning. Wait a minute. Monday through Friday. And so, excuse me. And so what I want is I want to take these few minutes and talk about the Mindset Matters course, because this is actually one of the topics that's in the course. And these are just some of the questions that you actually get to ask yourself in the privacy of your own home. Are you authentically empowered, people? I am a certified life coach. I do this. I do group sessions. I do executive coaching sessions. I do business structure sections. And I work on that stuff from the inside out. Things that you may not want to acknowledge, but you have to acknowledge. And so right now, in this moment, I just want you to take a moment and click that link where it says Mindset Matters. Because I believe after the 7 weeks, you're going to really be able to really, how do I say it? You're going to really be able to embrace and embody the things that are rightfully yours, that are authentically yours, that are truthfully yours. But if you don't know what it looks like for you, not what somebody else say it looks like, what does it look like for you? And growth and controlling your life, it takes on different shapes in whatever season you're in, because that's evolvement. You know what I'm saying? Like a caterpillar start at ground level. Some of you may be in the cocoon stage, and you have to understand, a caterpillar not waiting for somebody else to come put him in the cocoon. He cocoons himself because he taking control over his life and claiming his rights. But the next step of that butterfly is that when he come in, he's no longer just walking or strolling along. He is able to soar. But while in that cocoon process, this is the part that people get scared about, is that I can't see what's attacking me because I'm in this place. And all I know is I feel some stuff, I hear some stuff, at times they may fall. I don't know if I'm gonna make it while I'm in this dark place. But in the dark place, and a lot of times is where the growth is gonna happen. That's where the roots are gonna be set. But when you come out, you will have the ability to soar and the freedom. So what I need you guys to do, I just listen, click the link. Mindset Matters. It's a 7-week course. What we talked about today as far as the empowerment, listen, I know for a fact that if I go somewhere and they're not giving me the proper tools that I need, the tools that are going to allow me the ability to become stronger and more confident, gaining control over my life and my rights, then why am I here? That's empowerment. If you got a coach, a life coach, a spiritual coach, and you're not getting any of that, at some point you're going to have to decide, when do I take control of me? When do I gain my authority back? So until tomorrow, when you wake up live with Latisha on your morning drive, I want you all to be not just encouraged, but be empowered. And remember to make it a great day. So until next time, well, actually, until in the morning, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 a.m., same time, same place. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.